What's up, nerds? I'm West. This is Lucy. We're driving and camping and hiking across the country. So hit like and subscribe. Or don't. But really, please do. Well, it was 98 2 days ago and 82 yesterday. And the high today is 52. The wind is howling, and I was gonna stay in camp one extra day, but now I'm gonna move on. Normally, I would do everything in my power not to move on a Saturday, but because the weather is garbage and because it's the weekend before a holiday weekend, I feel fairly secure in moving to a very slightly better place. So I started in Kansas. I'm gonna drive through Oklahoma and Texas and then back in Oklahoma. And I'm sure the wind will still be howling, but it's supposed to be a high of 65 there today, and I think that'll be nicer. As a pro tip, if you find a spot on a Thursday or a Friday and you're a nomad, I would stick with it typically, because the weekenders come out Friday evenings and Saturdays and take up all the spots. So I am leaving that spot. That campground was barren. I was the last one there. The two people that stayed last night left early this morning, probably because the weather sucks. I talked to one of the guys, and he's headed to Great Basin National Park, and I think he'll enjoy it. He was from Kansas City, so that was cool. But right now, I think I have about 4 hours of driving that looks like this. To be clear, this is very Nevada terrain, except there's not a single mountain on any side of you, so you just have the horizon. The camp that I stayed in was clearly a bulldozed camp along a river. Then they used the river water to create 3 ponds, and they stocked those ponds with fish. So it was a fishing campground. You could buy fishing tags there in the campground, and it was a pretty cool place, but it's just flat here and not a ton of stuff to look at prettily that are mountain-like. I mean, you saw. Here, I'll show you again. In any case, moving on, Texas, then Oklahoma, or Oklahoma, then Texas, and then Oklahoma again. I'll see you on the road. Where the wind blows. And I've been driving for roughly 45 minutes, and the scenery looks largely the same. At least I've seen a couple of cars here in Oklahoma now that I've left Kansas, and that's been a change of pace, because in Kansas I saw none cars. So that's a thing. Update. I've been driving for an hour and a half, and there's scenery now. The exact same scenery there was before. Also, I think there's been a sign on every single road that says road may flood, and it's just got this little 2-foot ditch between it and the field next to it. What is this whole place just become another ocean? Like, if the road floods, everywhere else is flooding too. Another update, the highways here are shockingly bumpy. Like, it looks brand new, but it's much worse than like your average highway as far as bumpiness goes. Like, how? I don't understand. Like, they don't even have to level out the ground. They just throw some asphalt down and it should be flat. Like, the curvature of the earth flat, which is flat enough by any standard I'm aware of. I don't get it. I don't get it. Texas! That's all. Update, update, update! I'm in Texas, and there's terrain. Mild terrain, but terrain. It really makes me want to climb the tallest hills in all the flattest states. Weird desire to climb all of the non-hills everywhere. Oklahoma again! And I have 20 minutes to go. It is 65 degrees according to my truck, which I find to be about as reliable as... The truck is super reliable. The temperature gauge on the truck is the opposite of that. The sky is bluer here. The wind is still whipping real good. So that's the same, but it feels better here than it did at the last place. So I'm glad I made the move. We'll see if I am still glad once I get to this campsite. I'll show you around when we get there. Well, I'm at the campground, and it's one of the strangest little campgrounds I've ever stayed in. There's a sign posted that says must pay fees within 30 minutes, but I didn't see anywhere to pay fees. I'm gonna take a little walk, but check it out. Just these strange little grass areas to set up on. I don't know, it's all paved. It's weird. It's throwing me off. Haven't been somewhere so civilized in a while. Well, it's only like 100 yards to the start of the camping area, and still all the signs say fees must be paid within 30 minutes, but there's no fees box. There is a little trail that goes all the way around the lake. I think Lucy and I are gonna take that. Eerie to me that a campsite that is super cultivated has nobody here on a Saturday. Like, not a single person, not somebody fishing, not somebody just here to chill out. Maybe go, oh boy, hang on, BRB. Yeah, it is super eerie that a campsite that's regularly being mowed and forest serviced and has trash and water service is free and completely empty. Also, it has this nature trail, which is not very well marked. So I'm kind of confused by the whole thing. This is gonna be a one night adventure for sure. So that place felt like camping in a city park. And it's not close to a city. There are definitely a lot of locals that use it for fishing, but it's so, the pavement and then the little grassy areas, that just wasn't it. I'm definitely more of a boondocker. Like, give me dirt roads and national forest and I'm happy. So, not tonight, but tomorrow night, I think I found a national forest spot that I'm gonna like outside of Dallas, about an hour and a half outside of Dallas. Tonight, I'm still gonna be in Oklahoma, but at the southern edge of it, near Texas. And we'll see what the spot's like. I have a feeling it's gonna be more city park than off-road, but you do what you can. Holy butts. I thought it was flat before, but this is like a new definition of flat. Wow. Definitely not in Kansas anymore. And I'm doubling down on the hiking the tallest peak in don't know, I bet Texas has some hilly area on the west side of it. So not Texas, but Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska for sure. And maybe a few others. So shout out those peaks. There be hills. There be hills right out my window. "100% not mountains, but hills." All right, I've got beef. You're telling me Superman, the Man of Steel, was from a flat state, never had to push himself ever, and now he can fly and bullets bounce off of him? Like, worst superhero ever. Well, it's so flat here, I decided to drive off the end of the world, because I just can't take it anymore. See you in the next life. Texas! Texas is muggy. And I know that's just the start of my mugginess. I don't want to get mugged anymore. I think this is fairly low muggy, but holy balls. It's just 70 degrees, but it feels like it's 100 degrees. And my sweat does nothing for me. And I'm sweating, which... it's all garbage. It's all garbage. I don't know how people deal with this. Oh, only a few months, and everywhere else I'm going is just gonna get wetter and wetter. So I will continue to get mugged a lot. But Texas! Y'all ready for some Texas? Gonna get some solar done. Gonna do things. I'm gonna visit some friends. Then I will be cruising up through Alabama to Tennessee. I might hit another state in there. We'll see about my route. But holy butts, should be good, right? Right, fam? 75, and it's not so bad. AC is a hell of a drug. I don't think I'll ever give it up. So there is that. However, as soon as I get out of my truck, I'm not going to feel the same way. Editing West here, and some things got left out. Not because anything got corrupted, but because I didn't film it. So I guess what you missed was I skipped the camp in Oklahoma because it was so flat. I couldn't. And that turned that day into the longest drive day. Not ever, but almost ever. And then I got a bunch of footage in Texas, but saving that for the video I'm making for my friend Dan. So that'll also come out this week, ideally Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how motivated I am to edit and get it posted. Ideally motivated, but since I'm hanging out with friends here in Texas, we'll see. Next is solar, and I will do an install video on the solar and then review it later once I'm more comfortable with how it's working, so I can give you the honest take. I'm not sponsored yet, so it'll be brutally honest. It is not the most excellent solar system you can get. I'm trying to keep my trip as cheap as possible, Battery replacements and solar will be the next big video, other than the video I'm making for you, Dan. Stay tuned.